So, good evening. We are back again, and it has been a while since I last had Hammers on the channel. All right, mates. How you doing?
Exactly. Nice one, lad. Appreciate
I'm
it. It's
good,
good to
man.
be back.
Last time I had you on, you were high flying. You were doing great.
I don't
Um,
think we was we?
no, you were still up there, bruv. You were still up there.
Oh, I think when you say
Still up
up there, Lee, I think you mean like third, mate, like fourth, but we were dropping down. I don't think you mean like up there in terms of first. It's been a while since that, Shout out to the Rat Army, though, of course. It has
Come
been a
on.
while, man, but it's great to be back on the channel.
No, I appreciate that, man. When was the last time you was first? Can you remember?
December.
Wow. There you go. And then we're what, nearly in April, mate. That's mad. What's happened, bruv? Like, because I watch a lot of Liverpool. Obviously, they're on TV. Well, every game's on TV now, whilst we're in lockdown and that. But I've been watching you guys, and like I said this to Grizz the other night. You know, you've gone out. You've lost your centre back, Van Dijk, which is the biggest miss in your whole team because that guy is just unbelievably good. And he raises everyone else around him, I think, as well. And his organisation, leadership, and all of that. He kind of took you levels when he signed, but you lost him.
With the knobhead.
Yeah, yeah, mate. And do you know what the worst thing about that was? Yeah, the flag should have gone up, bruv. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's this holding off for 30 seconds until you put a flag up these days? What's that all about?
I let out all my sort of frustration on VAR in that day. I haven't complained about it since, just because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Even since that day, it's changed.
The Wolves goalkeeper as well, though. Like the Wolves goalkeeper, yeah, got clattered by his own player. Yeah, and like literally that was him done for the season probably now. And they got to stop doing that, man. Like if it's offside, it's offside. Just stick the flag up for God's sake.
Get it done. Yeah, just get them checked. At the end of the day, that's what they're supposed to do with injuries where it's like a head injury as well, isn't it? Like you should really stop it straight away. And if that's not the case, then that's what they should be able to do. Because I know they got the substitution rule. Do you know where you can have the extra one if it's like a head injury or whatever? But that was just that took a long time. I was really concerned about Patricio in that game. I was, shit myself. But like apparently he's all right. Apparently he's okay. Apparently he was just out for a bit, but he was out for like 10 minutes. I was thinking, I watch UFC on a regular, right? And I don't see like fighters get knocked out for that long, honestly. Like dead serious. It's very rare to see a fighter out that long.
And the thing is, he was running full pelt, Cody, wasn't he? Yeah, full pelt. Yeah, and mate, when you see it, like, because Sky didn't show the replay of it, so obviously you know what Twitter's like.
I never saw it on the day or anything either, yeah.
When I went on Twitter, I just searched his name on Twitter and it come up, and I was like, oh my God, that looks so disgusting. Yeah, and it's like, it's a bad one when Sky don't show a replay and zoom right out, like, and they don't show, it's bad. It was the same when we played Wolves and their striker Jimenez collided with David Luiz. Yeah, and it's just like you knew that was bad, and like, mate, the scar down the side of that geezer's head is mad. Like, if he ever
be getting a death on telly, you don't want to be like catching it because sometimes when they first go down, like, that's what it looks like it's about to be. It looks like they're about to, like, honestly, mate, because especially like Patricio, genuinely, it got to a point in the watch along, and you know what it's like for I don't know if you have the volume on yours, but I mute man. Yeah, I put mine on mute as well, and because I can't hear nothing, and like you said, there was no replay, so I'm thinking, what the fuck going on here? It was the chat who was informing me that it was like Cody who done it, this, that, and the other, and then they were like, he's okay, but then there was people saying, like, like trolls probably trying to make it much worse than what it was. But I was just kind of going off what I was seeing, and I was thinking, oh, mate, I hope he's all right. But I think he is going to be back. He might even be back after this break. I'm not even too sure. Apparently he was actually okay.
Yeah, mate. I think it was one of them where it looked a lot worse.
Thank God, you know what I mean? Made up about that, because if it was worse, we'd all obviously be putting it everywhere. So thankfully, it was all right.
But yeah, you obviously lost Van Dijk to an injury. You then lost Matip to injury, Gomez to injury. You then put in Phillips, man of the match performance on his debut, and we're thinking, okay, Liverpool are going to ride this out. They're going to somehow continue on. And then we didn't see Phillips again for a while. You then signed a centre back or two. That Kabak, by the way, is rubbish, bruv. Right, but he was playing Fabinho and Henderson at centre back when you had Phillips, who was fit at the time, not getting games. And I thought that was baffling, like, because the Liverpool model under him has been them three workhorses in midfield. Yeah, as soon as you take two of them out and put them in defence, you've got nothing in midfield anymore to go and retrieve the ball, which allows your front three to do their thing, which means you sit like isolated from the front. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of Liverpool this season because, like I said, it is all on TV now, every game. So like, and Liverpool were on anyway because they were the champions. But I just like I can't pinpoint one thing. Yeah, which is why I wanted to speak to you about. Because like, is it more than one thing, or is it just one thing? Like, because
No, it's
he
more.
looks like he's lost the plot a little bit. Yeah, like with what he's doing.
The thing is, I feel like Klopp's in a position, and to be fair, I've always gave him this slack. Like, if there was a season to have a madness, this would be the season type of thing. And I'm not trying to give him an excuse there, but people are trying to say, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but there is people who try and, get in contact with me and try and say, oh, James Klopp has done this, that. I just feel like you don't have enough evidence, especially against my evidence, to suggest that he is now officially a done manager. I just feel like that's very reactionary, and everyone said he was done at Dortmund in that last year, and then he literally rebuilt Liverpool. So it's one of them things where I don't think it's to do with the manager. I don't think it's to do just with the injuries. I feel like any manager would have struggled in these circumstances, but I do also agree with you when you bring up about certain decisions that Jurgen Klopp made, and even like the centre backs and bringing the midfielders. We were screaming it as fans, and we're just fan channels for months. Don't keep doing this with Henderson just because he's playing well there. Don't just keep doing this with Fabinho just because he's playing good. How about this? Just get a partnership and get a cover for them. I started saying, because our number one problem, no matter who played centre-back, was the attack. It was the goals. And it was also the fact, even though we were getting certain chances, they weren't clear-cut. And you would have needed like a Luis Suarez type effective finisher or a Lewandowski type to really be able to create something within that team. We don't have that. So we rely on system, we rely on good playing, we rely on build-up. So when you're relying on all these things and you have got key players missing out of that middle, and bear in mind, it's a midfield that keeps the team together. So Fabinho, Henderson, both gone from that midfield straight away. So what do you lose there? So you lose cover for the back in Fabinho, because even since Fabinho started playing CDM in the last 2 or 3 games, you've saw already Kabak and Nat Phillips. The confidence is, I'm not saying they look world class, but it's just there. Do you get what I'm saying? It was even the same when Henderson dropped there, just to have a sort of leader, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who's actually class, because that's the way I look at Henderson. I'm not even talking about this, what I'm like with Henderson, not his technical ability, but everything he brings to the table. I feel like that's massive. So when you put that into consideration, and on that midfield, he covers the right-hand side for Trent, which gives him the freedom to actually go forward, and it doesn't allow him to be in as many one-on-one situations. So it's kind of like we know Trent's not the greatest defensively, but for this system, there's no one who could do that job better. So when you lose Henderson for that cover, you lose a little bit more of that attacking impetus. So now that we've got Fabinho back at CDM, we've actually got a partnership at the back. Our longest partnership all season before Kabak and Phillips was 2.5 games, Lee. 2.5 games, and people thought we were making excuses about frigging injury. Do you know what Saeed done the other week? Shout out Saeed! Oh my god,
big up Saeed.
Mate, I love Saeed. He's fucking belter, mate, and he's well funnier than me. I just wanted to get that out there before I say what I'm about to say, just so people know that I respect my man Saeed. But mate, he came on to the Energy show a few weeks ago chatting injuries that Man United had. He named about 3 injuries. 3 fucking injuries. I was like, Saeed, I'm not hearing none of it, mate. I think it was before the second leg of the AC Milan game, and they were still unsure about a few players, and I was thinking, Saeed, don't you start talking to me about injuries. I'm not having none of it all season. If I bring up one injury, then I'm getting screamed at by the comments. Do you get what I'm saying?
At one point, I think it was around December time, January time maybe, you had the most injuries in the Premier League. Maybe it was before that. Maybe it was November. Yeah, and you had the most
injuries all season.
And then Man City was second. Man City have obviously got all of their players back fit, raring to go. They're all on form, which is why they've gone on a mad run.
At the start, didn't they all have COVID at the start, their players?
Yeah, I think about 5 of them got it, yeah. There was quite a few of them that had it. I know Aguero had it, and I think Fernandinho had it as well. But there was a few of them. But that's the thing, you just made a good point a minute ago, right? If you have your best centre-backs, best 3 centre-backs out, yeah, and then you've got to put a kid in who's never played a first-team game. Yeah, fair enough. He looked really good. I think it was Fulham you played. Yeah, he looked really good in that game, right? But then you lose Jota, who was bagging goals. Yeah, settled in.
Best attacker of the season, but
yeah.
people won't talk about that because he's a new signing from Wolves, which is fine, but that was also a big miss. We talk about replacing the front three. Well, that was supposed to be like the sort of first step into that process, and he went out for 3 months, but then you've got to defend them people and say that was Jurgen Klopp's fault because he got injured in a game that he didn't need to play. And when I say he didn't need to play, he didn't need to play. It was a Champions League fixture when we were already guaranteed top. It's not like we were guaranteed to just go through. We were guaranteed first place, and we were playing Midtjylland, and you play Jota for 87 minutes of that game. I'm not being
he could have easily just gone with someone else, like Origi or someone. You know what I mean?
Don't have to start. And bear in mind, Origi, even now isn't playing, but he weren't playing then either.
Yeah, it's mad.
I mean?
Dude, I wanted to ask you as well, right? Because I like Sadio Mane. I think he's a good footballer, yeah? Right, but he's been shocking this season, bro. The misses this season are insane, yeah? And it's like, yeah, but this is the thing. I don't think Klopp will drop, and the reason he won't drop him is because the way he presses is mad. Yeah, he's probably the best out of your front three at pressing. Yeah, but he'll also track back, he'll win the ball back, and he'll jink past 2 or 3 and he'll set another attack going, yeah? But I've seen so many chances this season where I think there was one against Everton. I'm like, how have you missed that? Yeah, like literally done every other season in the Premier League, he buries that. This season, I think he went 10 games without a goal, like at one point. And I'm just like, do you know what? When Salah then goes on a drought, he's on a drought, you've got your injuries, all of a sudden everything comes rolling down the hill real quick, doesn't it? It's snowball effects. And then the confidence gets sapped out of you. You lose 6 in a row, which was just mad at home. New record. Yeah, then obviously comes out.
Obviously breaking our previous record of getting the most home wins, which is just.
Yeah, mate. Do you know what? Do you know what's crazy, right? Is I think it was 69 games unbeaten.
It was we beat our record. Chelsea's the only team who has gone longer, I believe. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think they got 86 unbeaten at home.
I know they're first, but I believe that we overtook our record previously, and we were like second anyway. But then we beat that. Do you know what I mean? So it was just weird. It's been a weird season, but you know what though? Do you know when we were losing, I actually weren't that surprised, you know, Lee. And I don't want to sound like that we were supposed to lose them games, because we weren't. We were supposed to win. But I'm not being funny or nothing. You take out half of anyone's team, and you know it was near enough half of our team, Lee. All right then, our spine, because you lose Henderson, you lose Fabinho, you lose Van Dijk, you lose Gomez, you lose Matip. Most of your spine gone. Yeah. Bear in mind as well, we didn't get Thiago for the first half of the season. Granted, he hasn't lived up to the expectations of what we thought, but still, you want to have that little bit longer to gel in, and you miss him for the first half of the season. You mentioned Jota as well. So straight away, you're losing key parts of the squad, and you're expecting them to do the same thing a completely different squad did last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense. And I've said this to you before, right? When you look at Liverpool's 11 on paper, I wouldn't say that they are the best 11, in my opinion, compared to Man City, yeah? But they're only the best because of the system he plays and the positions he puts them all in when they're all fit, yeah? It's just like an oiled machine. But once you scrape past that starting 11, like I can name Liverpool's starting 11 when they're all fit. Everyone can. And we had this with Arsenal back in the day. We knew what 11 was playing. We didn't even need to see the team sheet, yeah? And everyone knew, which is why they were all shook in the tunnel, and we used to win games in the tunnel, like you've had recently, yeah? But, like, as soon as you strip back that 11, the rest of that squad is bang average, bruv. Like
James, what's that funny when you bring that up, though, Lee? Can I just intercept on that? Because you're right, I also agree that our squad isn't as great, and I've been saying for time that FSG need to invest. At the end of the day, though, what do good businessmen do? They don't really spend their own money. They try and spend the profits to try and improve everything. Yeah. So you've got to look at that as one big thing. I've now accepted FSG just aren't someone who want to win a league title year in, year out. I've learned that now. That's now clear evidence. I kind of knew that anyway, but because we won a Champions League and then a Premier League, I kind of got caught in the headlights a little bit, and it was one of them things.
Yeah, but that's easy to do, especially when you ain't won a league for 30 years, bro.
Oh, mate, I'd never saw one in my life, so I'm thinking to myself, well, we've just won it so convincingly. We must go and win it again. We must do. Because 2 + 2 = 4. Do you know what I mean, lads? So that surely must happen. But sorry, I forgot. I kind of started going on one there. What was you saying to where I intercepted and then
it'll come back
to me?
The squad.
Yeah, so about the squad. So even though all that's true, right, if you actually break down our squad, bear in mind we don't spend a lot of money, so let's put our model into it. The first 11, like in your opinion, you said is the best in the league, usually. So at least from last season. And I also agree with that. So we've got, or at least last season, we had pretty much a perfect player in every position. Do you get what I'm saying? And not many teams get that. You look at Man United this season, who was second, by the way. They're not perfect in every position. You look at Chelsea, they're not perfect in every position in the starting 11. Man City, they are, but they've got the money to do so. So they really kind of should be. And they've also got a good little system run there. Because Man United have a lot of money, but completely different board running the club and whatnot. Liverpool. So once you get past that first 11, which we've already established was perfect, let's go into the squad. So we got Diogo Jota, which I thought was a good squad improvement.
He's a good player, man.
100%. So Gini or Thiago was going to be a squad player because it was going to be Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago or Gini. That was the way the midfield was going to set up for the first part of this season. So there's another sort of few players. Then that's where you start looking at it and you're thinking, So then you've got Matip or Gomez. One of them two, because Van Dijk definitely plays. So there's three sort of solid-ish players. And then whoever else you want to throw on there, whether it's Origi, Shaqiri, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Milner. Like, the thing is, our squad depth, I don't think is as bad as people make out. But because our first 11 is so good and not really anyone can come off the bench and massively improve that, it's just sort of shown in a worse light. Yeah. That's my opinion on it, though.
But do you think, do you think in the summer, do you think, I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans talking about the owners and stuff like that, and I think I might be wrong in saying this, but I'm sure that the owners that you've got now have never, like our owners, they've never put their own money in. The only money they've put in out of their own pocket was to build the stand. Other than that, it's all been generated through the club's money, and they've spent that. Yeah. Do you think
like sell to buy?
Yeah. No, and that's and you get your income, you get your sponsorships, and you'll go and do a bit on transfers. Doing Jota for 40 million quid, I thought that was a bargain. I thought he could have gone for 60, if I'm honest. I think he's quality. Yeah, but do you think that you should have gone and spent more money in the summer? Just to get, just in case?
Well, yeah, so we sell Dejan Lovren, okay? And we sell Kajana Hoover. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was sold to Wolves for 10 million. Just someone from our youth system. We sold Brewster for 25 million.
Yeah,
so already there, you've got 45 million in funds which you didn't have before for Deadwood. Do you get what I mean? So you've got that into perspective. So when you've sorted that, you've also just won the Premier League for the first time in 30 almighty years, by the way. Bear in mind, you're getting more dough now than ever for winning the Premier League. So where's that dough? So, let me tell you a little something about that transfer you've just mentioned in Diogo Jota. That isn't just 40 million. That's 40 million. That's being paid 5 million at a time or whatever the fuck it is. Or we have to pay 10 million this summer. And then, it's in installments. It's not like we're paying all at once. So we paid 20 to 25 for Jota. For Thiago. And then we pay 30 to 40, which, by the way, we would have probably only spent 5 to 10 million so far anyway. So in this summer, we've spent 35 million. So whether you think that's good or not, sweet. But let's go back a year before when we won the Champions League and we invested into Sepp van der Berg, Harvey Elliott and Adrian. Adrian was free.
Mate, that's actually insane. That is actually mad.
But you hear what I'm saying, though?
Because if you go back the year before that, you brought... you sold Coutinho.
We sold Coutinho, Fabinho, Alisson and Van Dijk. The three players that we really needed, granted. But we got that because we had a fucking gem. And listen, that transfer is literally fucked Barcelona up, Lee. It's literally fucked them. It's the worst transfer they've ever made.
That and Usman Dembele has killed them as a football club, bruv. For the next
nail in the coffin.
Years. They're finished. They've done £250 million on 2 shit players. Yeah,
idiots.
Well, they're not shit, but you know what I'm saying. They've
no,
been
but
shit.
you shouldn't. I don't think they're that risky. 170 odd million. To be fair, though, I'm not going to lie to you.
They still owe Liverpool money for that, by the way. They still owe about 40% of the money.
They're saying they're going to sell him for 35 as well now, aren't they? They're saying they're going to sell him for 35, and Liverpool fans are jumping on it. Have you heard us? Have you heard
crazy,
our fan base? We want him back now. I don't think that's...
Well, you take him back. You take Coutinho back.
Our fan base do. I'll tell you now, I don't. And I'll tell you why I don't. It's one of them things where there's 2 players that's been linked with us over the past few days, actually. Luis Suarez, because he has the option to leave for free at the end of the season. And then Coutinho. I would much rather want Luis Suarez than Coutinho. And let me tell you why. Because I understand why people might raise an eyebrow at that, because what have Liverpool lacked this season? A creative midfielder? Well, no, it's not. It's the midfielders like Henderson and Fabinho that we've lacked, actually. Yeah. It's not Coutinho. But
because you don't really have a creative midfielder.
No, we haven't had that for years.
Henderson's not really creative, is he? Yeah.
No, in the team
neither is Genie or Fabinho.
No,
yeah, none of them are creative.
Genie can have a creative sort of impact, but he's not that player. But Coutinho, he would have been good for the 1 in every 5 games where he might get a worldie goal. But he's not going to be the ideal situation for the place that we're in. He's not going to take us from where we are to first. So, with Coutinho, I wouldn't take him back because he's went on a completely different trajectory than what Suarez has while he's been gone. Luis Suarez left Liverpool after the best ever season that I have saw from a player at that point. I was a young Red, so like I hadn't saw like all the older seasons and whatnot to proper analyse. But to me, Luis Suarez was a fucking alien, bro. He just knew more than everyone else. So when
how can man be banned for the first 8 games and still win Golden Boot?
And then he still just fucking smashed it though, lads. I nearly broke the records and everything. Mate, he was just different. So when he left and just started smashing it even more at Barcelona, I was just like, shit, good then. So he's just still quality. Goes to Atletico Madrid, bro. I don't know how, I can't remember the stats, but I remember Rand saying something about his finishing to actually scoring. Mate, like, the only reason why he doesn't have more goals is the team that he's in. Atletico Madrid don't create, a hell of a lot of chances.
Yeah, they're not Barca. They're not Barca.
I just think of it as, if you replace Firmino in a lot of the positions he gets in for Liverpool and put a Luis Suarez there, the effectiveness is just different. And yes, it's a Luis Suarez who's lost a yard of pace. Facts. It's a Luis Suarez.
He was never lightning quick anyway, was he? It was his movement that was always elite.
It was his IQ, and it was just his tenacity to just want to win more than you did. And that's what we need. We need dickhead. Do you know Thiago's a dickhead? In a great way. In a brilliant way. He's a bad knobhead. I thought he was gonna come into this team and just be a pussy like the rest of them. Because I think that's what team are. I think they're full of bitches. I think Salah and Van Dijk, maybe Henderson, are the only ones with proper bollocks. And recently I've saw Robertson as well, and you can maybe have Fabinho, but the rest of them, mate, they won't have
a little bit. Yeah, they are a little bit soft. Trent is very soft, bruv. Like very soft.
He needs to grow up a proper pair of bollocks, lad. He needs to start getting into.
I think Robertson gets. I think Robertson's got that little mean streak
Robertson
about
gets stuck in me. Yeah, I had to add Robertson to the list. He might even be top at that with Van Dijk, maybe. But I have to give respect to Salah because he likes to get stuck in as well. He doesn't give a fuck.
Let me pin this. Big up to everybody watching. Smash the likes up if you haven't already. Everyone who watches this should smash a like. Everyone who watches it that ain't subscribed to James's channel, the link is in the title. Hit the link, takes you straight there. You're on what, 37k now?
37,000, my mate.
Come on. You're getting there,
it was much lower when I was last on here, I can tell you that. I think it was
it was about 20 times, man.
Yeah, 20 something.
You've got up loads though, man. Like every time I see your videos pop up here, I don't always comment. Yeah, but when I see your videos pop up, I always put them on like when I'm pottering about and that. Yeah, you crack me up. Like literally crack me up. This is a great super chat. It says a second team of Kelia, Nico, Matip, Tsimikas, I think that's how you say his name, Genie, Jones, Keita, Shaqiri, Origi, Jota. Where would that team finish in the league?
That would be our second team. And do you want me to tell you something? I actually thought it was going to be a lot worse when you put it out. But let me tell you right now, goalkeeper I'm actually kind of okay with for now.
Yeah,
it's not a priority.
It's
not a priority. So, and Kelleher came in and he just kind of convinced me, you're sound to be a backup. Nico, I've said let's get him out on loan and get someone else instead because I don't get why we sold Klein, Lee. I don't know why we let him go. I know he weren't quality.
He had a big injury and then he came back and he weren't really the same player.
You're talking about still one of England's at the time more better right backs. Do you get? He weren't better than Trent for the system that we were in, but I'd much rather see a Klein than a Trent. And this is what I think. It's not rocket science to make dough in football. If you win every fucking trophy, you're going to make a lot of money. So if you have a very good squad, then you're going to have more of a chance of winning trophies. So I just think of it as, if that second team is just improved in areas, because do you know that back four besides Nico is sound? Do you know that midfield? brilliant. Like, that's a brilliant backup midfield. Gini, Keita and Curtis Jones. That's a phenomenal backup midfield. But then the front three as well. Shaqiri's kind of on the other side of the hill. Origi as well. Jota, fine. So, you can look at a few areas there. We need a striker. I'm not even going to say backup striker. We need a striker. And we also need a backup right back at most. And I know that we can't ignore the centre-backs and all that.
A right winger. Shaqiri was always a weird signing, bruv. I never understood why you signed him. Like, he has moments of brilliance, but it is literally twice a season. I don't get that. Like,
he had 5-star skills on FIFA. I should have stood out more on Stoke.
Maybe that's why they signed him.
Know what I mean, lad? Know what I mean? Me knowing that as well, I remember the first time I saw Thiago, Firmino and Shaqiri play, and I was like, oh my God, all of our 5-star skillers on FIFA to play. Let's see what they can do.
This is the first FIFA ever since it came out, the first original one. It's the first one I have not brought. Yeah, and I do not miss it, bruv. I do not miss it. The game's fucking filth. Can't stand it.
You're adding years to your life, my mate. So congratulations to you. I'm happy you've made that consecutive decision. I am. It's much better for you.
Well, let me, because we play. I totally forgot about this. Next weekend we play. We play each other, yeah?
Oh, I thought this was going to be a preview. We haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe sort that. Maybe I can jump on yours. Up to you, man. We're sort of saying for next week. Yeah, we're sort of saying.
100%.
And if you want to jump on and do a little fan cam afterwards, man, I'm popping them out after games as well. So you're more than welcome, mate. Yeah, but we'll speak later in the week anyway. But you've obviously got us. You beat Wolves last time out. I don't know how you beat them, if I'm honest, because they missed so many fucking sitters in that game. It was mad. Yeah. You've stopped the rot, shall I say? Do you think you're going to beat us? Because it's at the Emirates and it's a fucking joke as well. It's the late kickoff, 8 p.m.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's going to... the best result we'll get is a draw. I'm not in a position where I can be predicting wins because I'm predicting wins off of like just emotion. I'm predicting a win because I'm thinking Arsenal are below us in the table. And this, that, and the other, but there's context to everything, Lee, and it's one of them things where Liverpool just are so inconsistent. I don't know which Liverpool's going to turn up, whether it's going to be a motivated Liverpool. I don't know if something else has gone in behind the scenes. All it takes is another injury, and it's one of them things just to change. Like right now, our spark is Fabinho has got back in the midfield. Yeah. But what about if he gets injured then, bro? We're just back to square one.
Then you're dropping in what? Is Keita even fit? That guy's never been fit since he got to Liverpool.
Keita's fit, but he's still like... I think I've let you know about my thoughts on Keita, and I think he's a very, very good player, but it's just the fact that he doesn't even turn up to work. That just... You need players who can just turn up to work, man. You can just be an option for the squad, and we spent a lot of money on him. I think he's like our third ever or fourth ever most expensive.
Yeah, we're only about 48 million or something, 46 million.
More. I think add-ons and that made it 60, maybe even more.
Wow. Because do you know what? He was ripping it up in the Bundesliga, yeah? And this is why I'm always sceptical about signing players from that league. Yeah, because like they look great. I mean, look at Werner and Havertz. They were smashing that league. They've come to this league, yeah, and they ain't exactly done much. Werner, I think, has done a lot more than Havertz. But Chelsea fans, you ask Chelsea fans, they're like saying, "No, we've been robbed here." Yeah, and I'm like, I look at him and I think like he's a number 9. He ain't a left winger anyway for me, Werner. Yeah, he can't dribble. Right. He's got no technical ability. But you put him in a penalty box, he'll score your goals. Yeah, but I think he would have done all right for you lot, funny enough. Yeah, if you had put him up front instead of Firmino, the only downside with him compared to Firmino, who I rate, by the way, is Firmino technically his levels, but he is that out of the three, he is the one that makes that free tick because the way he links the play up and he kind of sacrifices goals to get the team goals. Yeah, he sacrifices his own goals. Whereas I think if you put Werner in there, you'd slightly change your style, but I think you'd bag more goals.
Do you know what it is about Firmino? He's just a belter player to watch, but he is just a blind granny when he shoots. When he shoots, mate.
Unless it's against us and he's doing no-look hat-tricks, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Unless it's against Arsenal, which, by the way, I actually don't think he's going to be fit for this game, so that'll be music to your ears. Because that's what he loves. He loves a good London team for me. You know, he loves to turn up against Tottenham and Arsenal. They're his teams. But yeah, he just can't finish. I've said it for time though, even from last year before I started talking about Liverpool on YouTube regularly. We need a new striker, and whatever you want to do with Firmino within that, that's fine. If you want to keep him in the team, sound. If you want to move him a bit deeper, which is what he pretty much does anyway, great. But we need someone who's going to be able to... Because what he does to the team is massive, but the amount of chances he gets, you need a number 9. No.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't take Giroud, because I think...
If I'm taking a 33, 34-year-old, right, I'm taking someone who's like a Luis Suarez or a Lewandowski who's on that side. I'm not taking a Giroud. And Giroud is, in my opinion, actually underrated. I actually look at Giroud, and I believe he's been underrated for years, especially as an out-and-out striker. That being said, it's not what I want Liverpool to fall into the trap of, and, you know, playing that type of striker type of thing. I'd rather just go and get someone who I know is just going to be our striker for the next few years, and we won't need to be... Because Liverpool, listen, I'm not accustomed as a Liverpool fan to winning trophies, but I'm accustomed to a very good striker. Oh, mate, I have saw some absolute ballers within my lifetime. I was alive for Michael Owen. I was alive, very young, but I was still alive for it. I was alive to see Robbie Fowler in his second stint type of thing, and then even further on, Fernando Torres,
he was quality.
Luis Suarez. There was many more. They're just to name a few. But Liverpool have always been used to having a proper goal scorer.
Yeah, man. You could even go back further. I've seen Ian Rush and all them.
That's just my lifetime that I mentioned there, by the way. Yeah, serious.
It's mad. And the thing is, that is the thing with Liverpool. They have always had a top striker. Always
the thing that gets us out. Regardless how shit it is behind, we'll always get them goals. We literally got into a title race in 13-14 because of our striker.
Yeah.
We conceded like 50 goals that year.
Or was it Sturridge, Sterling,
SSS?
And Sturridge, Sterling and Suarez. Weren't Jordan Ibe there for you lot at the time?
He
just come through the academy.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. Well, Reece Nelson's supposed to be that, mate, and he's in the under 23s.
Is he?
Yeah, we put him back in the under 23s for about 2 months, bruv. Like, it's mad. I don't know what's happened to him. It's crazy, isn't it?
Was it Hoffenheim that he was smashing it up?
I think it might. I can't remember. You know, I'm sure the chat.
He
scored like 5 goals with 5 touches or something, like over the first 5 games he played. It was ridiculous. Yeah, and he got a couple of assists in that. Then he turned up late for training. Yeah, and he just fell out of favour with them. Yeah, and then ever since then, he come back to Arsenal. He's got a few games. Other than that, we bounced him back into the 23s, bro. And it's just like, wow. Because I'd rather see him played, and I don't particularly rate him, but I'd rather see him played than Willian. Willian offers nothing. At least Reece can do something.
And also with Reece, whoever you think's better, that's fine. But Reece will also, he's like got something to work for. He's still not like an established first teamer. Willian expects to play first team football type of thing, and if he doesn't, he's not going to be arsed, mate, because of the wages he's getting. So you look at Reece Nelson, he'll be more hungry for the team. So I'm surprised to hear that myself.
Yeah, man. But we'll wrap this up in the next 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Big up to Khalil Hassan as well for your other donation. He said next season, your second team should be Kelleher, Nico, Nat, Gomez, Matip or Davis, Tsimikas, Zakaria. I think I don't know.
Zakaria.
Jones, Keita, Elliott, Firmino, and Neto. That should be your backups. You need to go and spend some money this summer, and I don't think you're getting it. I don't think you're going to go and do top dough. And you know what? Before I read this one out very quickly, me and Rance were talking about this the other week, right? The Virgil van Dijk's 30. Salah's the wrong age to be sold for big dough. Like, nobody's going to do 100 million on him, bruv. Yeah, nobody, not at that age, yeah. Mane, the same. Nobody's going to take the £100 million punt, especially Barcelona after doing it with
Mane or Firmino, we won't be getting anywhere near 104. I think Salah, we've got more likely of a chance. I get your reasoning for saying we're not going to get 100 million, but I feel like if there's anyone who we could get that for, it would be Salah, just because of what he brings outside of the goal.
The only team I think that could genuinely afford him, well, there's probably 2, Man City and PSG. I don't think Real Madrid have got that kind of dough.
I think he's going to stay at Liverpool and become a legend.
Yeah, I do.
Even though he already is, but I mean, certify himself, he'll be here for the next 2 or 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, man. Man said in the chat, Roadmap FC goes, Firmino's teeth are whiter than Lee.
Mate, like, do you know when Bobby got them teeth done? Because do you remember as well, like, for the people in the chat, I don't know if you'll remember, Lee, but do you remember when he had the bun? The bun?
Yeah.
Mate, like, that was like Prime Bobby. That was Prime Bobby. Just tethered everyone. Oh, mate, like, that was a scary Bobby. You know, the one that looked like a missus? That was a scary Bobby. Have you seen all that shit about James Rodriguez, by the way? Over the past few days?
I see it. Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
Do you think that's true?
Nah.
It don't even matter if it's true. Good luck
Do
to
you know
him,
what
man.
though? We're in the
Good luck to him.
21st fucking century, baby. So if it is true
You know
or
what I
not,
mean?
it doesn't matter. And do you know what?
Yeah.
If it is true, all the fucking more to him or to her, whoever it may be. Do you know what I mean? Like that is
exactly.
all. And do you know what? Turning it up in the Premier League would be quite a story, IMO.
Oh, exactly. And do you know what? Yeah, I've said this before, right? As soon as somebody comes out as a gay footballer, you watch how many more will have the confidence to do that. Yep. Yeah. Obviously, that's not the story with James.
Yeah.
Right. But
and by the way, when he mentions James, he's not talking me. He's talking Rodriguez. He's talking Rodriguez.
Do you know what? You're right. The fact that they these footballers that are gay can't feel the confidence to come out and say that. Yep. Yeah, that's shocking, man. Like they should be able to come out and say it, like be proud with it, and not be scared about what people are going to say, man. Fuck the world. Do what you want to do, man.
Do you know what? I can't say nothing because I'm not like in that position where I'm scared to come out or anything like that, because I've just never been in that position. That being said, for the people and the footballers who might be, it's one of them things where I'd love to see someone. And again, I'm not in that position, so it's easier said than done. But I'd love to see someone just step forward and kind of use that criticism that they would most certainly get and sort of just make them better. Because imagine, like, a gay footballer being the best footballer in the world, just terror everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leaving.
Do you know what? It's funny you saying that, right? Did you watch Football's Darkest Secrets last week, or the week just gone? Did you watch it? It was a 3-part documentary by BBC. It was Football's Darkest Secrets, bro, yeah? And it was about football clubs, back in the day that were doing naughtiness to kids, and basically coaches that were abusing their power, and saying I can get you to be a pro footballer for this club and that club, but you got to do X, Y, Z, basically. Bruv, it was disgusting. Yeah. And do you know what, right? Just saying what you said about the first person to come out and that, right? There was an ex-footballer who done it. He came out. I can't remember the fella's name, but there was a fella who played for Tottenham. He, funny enough, played for you lot, Paul Stewart. Yeah, back in the day, bruv. I remember him as well. Decent striker, man. Scored against Nottingham Forest in the cup final before Des Walker scored the own goal. Yeah, for Forest, right? But he came out and, bruv, like, I DM'd him on Twitter. Yeah, he ain't read it. I didn't expect him to. But I DM'd him. I was like, bruv, the fact you've come out all these years later, and he said that when he was playing, that he was drugged up, he was pissed up. Like, he goes, it really affected me, even when he was at Tottenham. Like, all the adulation of playing for Tottenham and Liverpool, he said every day it affected me. And I was like, wow, man. Like, to have the balls to come out, and say that and put it on TV and be one of the forefront and getting more people to come out. Well done to you, man. I was sitting there with my missus. Watch it, man. It's 3 hours long over 3 episodes. It's an hour each show.
I'll have to watch
it's
that.
Absolutely brilliant watch, and it's disgusting what happened, man. And you know what? It worked. The FA put a statement out on the 17th of this month saying that that they could have done more. Yeah, like, and that's obviously the day the show was aired. So, but yeah, man. But yeah, it's exactly the same. Like,
it's a shame. It's a proper shame. I'd hate for anything. Like, say if I was to do football or whatever it is I want to do, I would hate something about me that I can't even control to hold me back about that, and I know that that's the reason why. I'm thinking, why can't it just be about ability, or why can't it just be about this, and why does it have to be this big thing that it doesn't have to be? And I'm not trying to go all into a chat that we all already know of what's right and wrong, because we know what's right and wrong, but it's one of the, like, so I've just mentioned it'd be great if someone comes to the forefront, but it's not just as easy as that. And why isn't it just as easy as that?
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? Like, because it should be just like, no matter what who you're into, shouldn't matter what in the fucking slightest. At the end of the day, we're there to see you score fucking goals.
Yeah,
if you get criticism,
and save shots. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah. And if you if you don't do your job to the best of your ability, we'll criticize you only on your football. And this is the thing I hate about football in general now. I hate the way, for example, Adrian. Yeah. Not the greatest of goalkeepers. I'm not surprised no club has ever bought him for a fee. In case you didn't know that, by the way,
I didn't know that.
Every transfer was a free transfer, just for people who didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm glad you cleared that one up.
Free transfer for every club. So, Adrian, when he plays and has a shocker, I have a big issue anyway with people who go over and start sending them death threats and that, regardless. But I also have a bigger problem when you're criticising him for wanting him to do things like Alisson when he's just not that level, and he can only do what he can kind of do. So now he's not
this is the thing, yeah. You've made a great point, right? Because this is the thing, yeah. I used to get on to players like Bellerin. I still do. I can't stand Bellerin at Arsenal, yeah? Can't stand Xhaka. But you know what? I've come to terms with the fact that they don't pick their self. They're not picking their self. The manager's picking them. Yeah? So, you know, when people get... Like, we see it with Mustafi and Xhaka. Some of the stuff aimed at Mustafi and Xhaka's family, bruv, is disgusting. Like, and you see it on Insta all the time, man. Like, Insta's getting as bad as Twitter, by the way. Like, it's getting proper naughty. Like,
fuck everyone. No, fuck everyone on every platform. Even Thierry Henry, which said it at the end of the day, mate. You're speaking to people and you're arguing with people and you're debating with people who don't even show the face. So if they're not going to show their face, what's the point in that argument? When regardless what you say, in however many characters you have to say, they're not going to change their mind. Because they haven't got that physical confrontation right in front of them. They haven't got the presence of someone else being able to sort of... Do you get what I mean? They have their own perception and they'll stay with that. Social media...
But that's the thing. Like, when people say to me, I'll do a debate with this person because they're Arteta in and you're Arteta, what's the point? Yeah, it might make good viewing for everyone, but I ain't going to change my mind, and neither's he or she. So what's the point? I'm just wasting an hour of my life debating. Because unless I change your mind, you change mine. What's the point?
Yeah. But at least even that person who come on your show would at least have the bollocks to show their face and show the reasons for that. Yeah. Because I actually don't have a problem, right?
I rate people that put their face out there.
Massively, because it's just as easy as getting your face out there. It's much more complicated than that. Yeah. And I feel like when it gets to social media, it is just so easy. And bear in mind, a lot of these are about 12, by the way. And you know when I get a message, right, off a 12-year-old who's just started wanking, so he's just started getting a little bit of muscle at the back of his arm. Just started getting that little bit of muscle at the back of his arm, right? Just because he's just... And he thinks he messages me saying he can batter me. You wouldn't. And I mean that in the most... Even though you're not being respectful to me, and I'm not the hardest man on road, you just wouldn't. Like, I'm not being funny, mate. That doesn't happen. So... It is just all talk, and it's why I don't respond to DMs even at, like, lad, you know what I mean?
No, I don't. The only people I respond to in DMs are people that I've spoken to previously.
Or that are cool, man. Do you know what I mean?
Or that I know. Or if I can see the first line of it on the request, because my DMs on Twitter are switched off anyway, unless I follow them, on Insta, if you don't follow them, they can still message you, but you have to go to requests. I never open them anyway. Never open them, unless somebody says to me on here, like, Lee, I've sent you a DM, can you please read it? It's really urgent. I'd love you to, which I have done, but I ain't got time for it anyway, man. Like, Twitter, I need to slow down, bruv, like, because I just sit arguing with people all day. It's just fucking pointless.
Do you know what?
I've started this week. I woke up on Monday or Tuesday, and I was like, do you know what? Why am I wasting my time? Every time I put a tweet out, it's the same fucking idiots that run their mouth. What's the point? All you're doing is replying to them,
get the response.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all it is. And that's why I've learned just to... do you know when someone says something shit about me, I kind of just bounce off it, because I'm not going to get to see them in person. And if I do, they're not going to do anything to the point where I'm going to be given a good reason to smack them, because they're doing it over the phone for a reason. They're doing it over the phone for a reason because they're a pussy. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to act like some big man, but real big men don't go on their phones causing shit that way. They'll sort it out in the, how men sort it out. They'll do it in person. But that's what I'd rather you do. If you actually have a problem
I noticed you've been training up in your garden, bro.
Hey, listen, lad, you already know Bruce Lee settings and that, you know what I mean? That's what you got to do. You got to get the chops and that. But nah, lads, I've been trying it in because I've been wanting to do an MMA, go to an MMA gym for ages, bro, because I love the UFC, but I haven't had a chance to.
Would you get stuck in? Would you like actually get in the ring?
I want to do a proper bout. I want to do a proper MMA.
No way, bro. Have you got balls, man? That looks naughty as fuck.
No, because I'd
love when they're grabbing your head and knee in. Oh, nah, mate.
Lads, I live for it. I live for it. I live for it, like that's what makes me hard in the morning. A fucking lovely knee to the jaw, like, honestly, mate. So like, I'd love, and I don't want to do like YouTube boxing because I want to do a boxing bout as well. But I don't want to do like YouTube boxing. I want to fight people who have done this through tough times as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I've been doing boxing even before I started YouTube. So I want to kind of keep doing that as well as doing this. Do you hear what I mean? Like, because I love it, man. There's just something about combat sports where...
So if we're sat here in 2 years' time and you've got cauliflower ears, you got a nose...
I'll wear me headgear, lad. Don't you worry. These ears are staying sound, my mate. I like my ears, you know what I mean? So, wouldn't want them going all mashed. And plus, that cauliflower here hurts, bro. It hurts. I've heard that's the worst thing ever,
Yeah? Because like a lot of rugby players get that, don't they? Because obviously they're getting kneed all the time and elbows and stuff. Bruv, I value what little looks I have left, so I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You gotta keep on to whatever you can as you get older, didn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Bro, my hairline's like Sadio Mane's right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might have to buy a baseball cap.
It's not that bad, don't worry. But you know the back of the ears when you get cauliflower ear. So basically, all that mush it develops. Obviously, it goes round to the front of your ear, but when it's at the back and it's covering the back of it affects your hearing. Because when you're hearing, it comes through the back of your ears. So when that all gets covered, your hearing becomes like less effective. So it's best the way.
I can imagine as well. You've got pressure points behind your ears as well, innit you? So I can imagine if it gets too bad, and it could really mess you up, mate.
Yep, definitely.
That's mad. One more thing before we wrap this up. Big up to everybody watching. Subscribe to Hammers' channel right now. Link.
Enjoyed this chat, man.
If you haven't, no, I appreciate you coming on, man. One more question, real quick. Can you get top 4 this season, or are you finished with it? No. Are you done with it?
Yeah, we're finished. So I've said this for weeks now. Yeah, we're not getting top 4. I feel like anyone who thinks we're going to get top 4 isn't delusional, but I feel
because you can go on a run. We know this, and Dinesh put it in the chat a minute ago. Thanks to your super chat. He said only Man City and Liverpool could potentially be the teams that go on a mad run.
Don't make the same mistake as what a lot of Liverpool fans have done. No, it's not the same team. And, you know, we're only an injury away of everything collapsing again. We still haven't got a Henderson. We still haven't got a Van Dijk. We still haven't got a Gomez. We still haven't got a Matip. You know, it's one of them that, you know, Bobby at the moment is out, so he's not available. We can't just assume that we're going to get no more injuries, even if it's just little ones. We can't just assume that. Yeah. So we need everything to go right. And this is the season where nothing goes right. So I'm not going to just sit here and assume of what I've seen and what I think I will see and go and say we're going to get top 4 when you've got Leicester, who are like 10 points above us. You've got Chelsea, who just don't look like they're stopping anytime soon. Man United, who have pretty much secured that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, mate. I just don't see it. We would need, in my opinion, to
win. Will you get Europe though, or do you think that maybe us or someone else could pip you to a European spot?
Mate, I am praying to God himself that you overtake us. I am.
You don't want Europa
League. Don't want Europa League, mate. Do you know what me tell you why as well? It's one of them things where next season we can proper go for the league if we don't have any other distractions or anything like that. You get what I mean? And I don't think anyone's going to leave. It might hinder our chances of getting players in, but I feel like he'll give our players just an extra sort of kick up the arse to want to do well and be successful again. So I don't want the Europa League, and if we do get the Europa League, start the B team. We've literally just won the Champions League. Like, with all due respect, we're not in the position of an Arsenal where we need a European trophy.
Well, you're still in it. You might win it and get back in anyway.
Well, to be fair, that's the thing. We're still in the Champions League. Well, yeah, that's my hope. That's where all my eggs are. Do you get what I mean? As for the league, I'm done with the league.
And it's in Istanbul. We all know what happened last time.
Could get Chelsea in the semis as well.
Yeah.
bro. And Chelsea were better than us then as well. Listen, and also, when you actually even look at the other side of the tie, you've got the 2 best teams in the world in Bayern Munich and Man City. On our side, back in 2005, AC Milan at that time was the best team in the world.
Yeah.
And we were shite. We were dreadful, mate.
I remember that. I was in Paphos, in Cyprus, and my old man went to bed at 3-0, yeah? There weren't a single Scouser in the bar. The guy in the bar wanted to shut, he wanted to shut the locker down. And we were like, there was Birmingham fans, Villa fans, Arsenal, Tottenham. Every other fan apart from a Liverpool fan was there, yeah? Right? And we said, no, you ain't shutting, mate. Yeah? Then when it went 3-1, my dad was, I texted my dad, I said it's 3-1, yeah? He was in his room. Then I texted him again, 3-2. I'll never forget this, right? Come legging it through the lobby. Chest out, got himself a pint, sat down. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate.
Right? As soon as it went 3-3, I just knew you'd win. I just knew it,
Do you know what I love, right? Do you know the amount of stories I've heard of that 45 minutes alone of what people were doing? It's genuinely unbelievable. Like, I love listening to them stories of what people were doing. Because there was people who went to the stadium, left at half-time. There was, like, oh, mate, I just think to myself, like, if I left that game at half-time, I'm crying, mate. I am crying, bro, because it's not one of them where you can just go back in. That's not how football stadiums are. You can't just go back in willy-nilly.
Yeah, as soon as you're out, mate. That's it. It's done. You ain't coming back in. Do you know, it's funny as well, right? Very quickly, because I said we'd do our.
By the way, lads, I know you can take as much time as you need. By the way, bro, unless you're in a rush,
I'm sweet. Do you know what's funny, right? A very good friend of mine who used to go to school with him, a guy called Matt, right? He's a Tottenham fan. When they went out to Ajax, Yeah, they were obviously fucking 3-0 down, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
He left the stadium. Yeah, he left the stadium.
No,
He went back to the hotel. He said to his pals, there was about 6 or 7 of them. He said, "Fuck this! I'm going back to the hotel." So he's just sat in the bar at the hotel. There's no TVs in this bar. Just sat there having a drink. They've all come back in. Like, I can't believe we've done it. They're going. It's going. Shut up, you mugs. Yeah. So they asked the barman to put the news on, yeah, or put the TV on. Yeah, and they put it on, and it was just scenes of the Ajax players crying on the floor. He was going mad, mate. Absolutely.
Do you know what, though? Do you know, like, when people leave at half-time and when your team's doing shit, I know that people have a big problem with that, and I suppose I understand why. But, like, there is just some people out there where they just genuinely can't see the sight of their team losing, and it's like... Especially when
their day or their week. Yeah.
The weekend. Like, that's how I feel doing some of these watch-alongs with Liverpool. I've always felt like that. School days used to be the worst. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, even watching these type of games, like, this builds up to the Liverpool-Arsenal game, I'm realising how much of a derby, well, it's not a derby, but, you know, like, how much of a rivalry there actually is between Liverpool, because I knew there was anyway, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid, but, like, you know, with people who live in London, there's a mixture of people who support teams, and because Arsenal fans will live next to Liverpool fans, that means that game's all the more bigger for them. Because I was on a channel this morning, everyone was from London, but there was Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans, but the game was massive to them. To me, I look at Man United and Everton as them fixtures. Even though Everton don't compete with us in anything, I still want us to beat them. I want us to finish above them. Yeah. They beat us. I heard about it. Like, I'm still hearing about it to this day. You know what I mean? I get along with a load of Everton. Like, Everton fans actually show me love, lad. And when they message me, they take the piss out of me to this day for that result. Do you know what I mean? Merseyside is blue, this, that, and the other.
You know what it is with Arsenal and Liverpool, yeah? Like, you and Everton were dominant back in the day, yeah? Like, it's like titles for fun, right? We then kind of, like, broke into that. We won it in 89, obviously, at your ground. And you were the best team in the world, man. That was just insane what we done there, right? But that game, you got all of the Liverpool fans clapped us. Yeah, clapped us as a team, right? And clapped everyone out, like, all the way. I wasn't there. I was only 6. Yeah, I remember watching it. Yeah, it was the first real memory of me watching Arsenal, really, on TV. But I didn't get what it meant at the time because I was only a kid. Yeah, obviously, the older you get and the more you look into stuff, you see it, yeah? But from what I gather from what people have said to me that were there, like, literally the streets were lined with Liverpool fans just clapping all the Arsenal fans out of the city. And I was like, that's class, man, because we've just won the title against the best team in the world, the biggest team in the world probably at the time. Yeah, and then you come back the following season and won it. Then the following season, we won it again. Yeah, we nearly went invincible that season. We lost 1 game that season to Chelsea, and 3 of our back 4 weren't playing that day. Yeah. We lost 3-1. If that would have been George Graham invincible instead of Wenger obviously going on and doing it later, it would have been Graham and Wenger. Could you imagine if they'd both done it? Fucking hell. Right? But that was the last time you won the league until the season just gone, yeah? Right? But then there's been so many cup finals, the Michael Owen Cup final, bruv, I was at that game. He fucking broke my heart, mate. That little bastard broke my heart. Yeah, I was just like, and he just came on and I'm thinking, you have just absolutely ruined the best defense. Yeah, just like that.
He was weird. He was weird when he was at Liverpool.
Man. We battered you in that game. That should have been game over.
Michael Owen was a weird alien when he was at Liverpool, though, especially the age that he was to be competing in Ballon d'Ors and that, mate.
Well,
like, I know that he tinted his legacy.
Argentina was mad. That goal was insane, wasn't it?
I know he was quality, legacy, man. But he was unbelievable. Yeah,
he was a wicked striker.
He was on fire. Even when, do you know, in 18, 19, when we lost 1 game and it was just the City, I was fuming, man. Because do you know what? If we finished second and we were undefeated, I'd still claim it. I wouldn't claim the league, obviously, because you couldn't. But if you're undefeated, bro, do you know what I mean? 90 odd points. That'd just be a better thing to say. We went undefeated for the season, but it was literally the game. And that's why I say in that 18-19 season, the team who beat us to the league weren't Leicester because we drew with them in February, weren't Everton because we drew with them in February. It was City because they beat us in January in that second leg, and that was the game. And also the run that followed from City that won them the league. So it was them who beat us to the league, not any of these teams who tried claiming. They made Liverpool bottle it. Do you get what I mean, lad? City were unbelievable. They were on different smoke. Obviously, company with that goal at the end as well.
Oh, mate, that goal was a screamer, man.
Unbelievable. That's why he solidified as a legend. You need that moment.
They'd been poor in that game, but then up stepped club captain, bang, 35-yard rocket, bro.
That's how you solidify yourself as a legend. All the more than what he already was. Big moments and big foot. But Gerrard had multiple, which is why he's looked at the way he is, because he was the man for the big occasion. It's all right being able... Like Salah, for example, he's probably had... Well, not than Gerrard, but if you compare him to someone else, he's probably more consistent in terms of what he offers. But how many of them will be a big moment? How many of them will be a Champions League final? Do you get what I mean? How many of them will be an FA Cup final or whatever? Gerrard had them type of moments. And when a player does have them moments, they get more respect. Because they're doing it in the high-pressure situations.
Gerrard in that final against West Ham. Yeah. Like, how far out was he with that shot? I mean, that was just pathetic.
Mate, you know what I'm thinking about doing on my chat? I'm thinking about doing, like, watch-alongs to, like, old classic games. And I want to do, like, a watch-along to, like, the AC Milan game, and I want to do a watch-along to the FA Cup game, just to see if I can notice things that I haven't noticed just from watching the highlights, or obviously not watching it fully. Well, I've watched the AC Milan game quite a few times, to be fair. But I'd, like, you know, do a proper watch, and every time I watch it, I learn something new. Like, you know, like a player who's in a
different, isn't it? Yeah.
It's mad, you know, lads, and I really do enjoy it, so I want to start doing that, and just seeing how that'll be, because I think watching old games and just seeing what it actually was like for old players to really just show what they had on display, because in every sport, you usually see it evolve, but football right now, I can't think that there's as many ballers now as what there was 10 years ago.
Mate, me and Rand say this all the time when we do the shows, but like that's why, like, players like Jack Grealish, Mahrez, I love them, man. Like, they're proper ballers. They could get in teams 15, 20 years ago. Yeah? Yep. Like, for these players now, they're shit. Real talk, they're
been glorified all them years ago. Mahrez and Grealish and all that, all the more than what they do right now, because I feel like, especially Mahrez doesn't get talked about.
I see somebody put a tweet out saying about Harry Kane, it was yesterday, saying that Harry Kane has won no trophies and blah, blah, blah. How can anyone laud this guy up? And I thought, mate, you must be about 12, because Matt Letizia was one of the best players I've ever seen. Yeah, and he won fuck all. Alan Shearer won one Premier League trophy, and he's the best striker we've ever seen in this country. Yeah, his record ain't ever getting beaten. Yeah, so people seem to put trophies and player ability together. That ain't the case, because if that's the case, Mustafi's better than Van Dijk because he's won a World Cup. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no correlation to how good you are as a footballer based on what trophies you win. You have to be lucky.
Anderson won a Premier League and Gerrard didn't.
Yeah, see, sometimes, like, these players are lucky. Like, Pascal Segan, he's an invincible. Bro, he's shit. He was actually one of the worst defenders I've seen at Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, we've been blessed with good centre-backs over not recent years, but back in the old days, we were blessed with good centre-backs. To see Pascal Stegan become an invincible was just a miracle, bruv. That was really a bigger miracle than us going unbeaten. We went unbeaten with him.
He was a part of that, yeah.
It's mad. But listen, man, I appreciate you coming on and giving up an hour of your day, man. And listen, anytime you want me on, holler me, man. I'll jump on anytime you want.
Nice one. We'll have to get something done.
Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, we're playing next weekend, so we'll maybe sort something out in the week, like back end of the week, Thursday, Friday, or something in it. So, but make sure you go and subscribe to Hamiz's channel if you haven't already.
Shout out to the Hammy!
Come on, lad.
Gotta give the energy to them. Do you know what I mean? The energy.
And one very final, quick question, rapid fire answer. Yeah,
let's go.
Is Dillian White going to win tonight?
Yes.
I don't think he is. I think Watkins got him.
He's going to finish. For Povetkin with the right hand. He was winning the last fight. Until he got sparked.
Until he got done.
But that Povetkin's a motherfucker, though.
Do you know what it is with him? Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he? They're all big boys in that level, in that weight division. Yeah, but he is a big boy.
Big boy. Was it the knockout that he had over David Price? Fellow Scouser that I just absolutely was stunned by. I can't remember if that was Povetkin, I swear it was, but he basically knocked him out standing up.
I don't know whether it was Povetkin, but that knockout, bro, that nearly smashed his
to David Price, where he knocked him out standing up. He was gone.
Bro, do you know what I'm saying? His head clean off, man.
Bro, but you know, even Povetkin in the last fight with Dillian White, it came out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just has that ability.
In that division, if you get clapped, it's lights out, mate. It don't matter who you are. One punch from any of them, it's game over, mate. Yeah, and that's what makes
you don't want to be getting touched by Wilder. You don't want to get touched by Wilder. Oh, mate, I know that technically you might not be, but
yeah, if he hits you with that big bomber, bro, boom.
Whoosh.
Yeah, It's mad. Yeah, he's got a big punch. But you know what? Yeah, they're all big in that. Any one of them, if they clock you properly, yeah, in the right spot, it's lights out, mate. It's game over. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're Tyson Fury, Dave, fucking Anthony Joshua, yeah, like Wilder. It could be any of them. You get it properly, it's game over, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so exciting. Yeah,
that's why it's sick. That's why the heavyweight division of boxing is always most likely going to be the pinnacle of what boxing is. Because even though they might not be able to do all the quick sort of combinations like the smaller divisions can do, they've just got that same thing that we love about every heavyweight fight, that in any moment of that fight, you can just crack them across the jaw and it's good night. And then it's fight over, and that's what I like about this fight as well, because I do think there'll be a finish regardless which way it goes. But if I'm leaning towards someone, I feel like Dillian Whyte, because he was winning in the first fight, and this time he's got that and a hunger to actually go and fucking reclaim what was his, you know what I mean, lad? So it's going to be a good one. I'm happy it's on. Do you know what as well? I know that you might not be up for this, but in the morning, make sure that you see the highlights of the UFC main event, Stipe Miocic and Francis Ngannou. That's the heavyweight UFC title fight. Unbelievable. I'd recommend after this, if you don't know Francis Ngannou, type in Francis Ngannou and you might shit your pants, just to let you know. Just to let you know.
Is it one of them that if he slaps your girl's backside, you just let him carry on?
Just let him take your missus, basically, bro, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that you're gonna do. Like, with all due respect, like me, you, rants, expressions, let's get more of the firm together. All he needs to do is just basically flick us somewhere out. You know what I'm saying, mate? That's Francis Ngannou in a nutshell. Genuinely type in Francis Ngannou. I'm
literally 11 stone dripping wet, mate, so he could probably just breathe on me and I'd fly.
That's the one person yet that I just like. I'd much rather fight like a high level, like the best mixed martial artist you could find, but with little power, than fight Francis Ngannou, because like I don't want to take a shot to the head like that. Genuinely, after this, I'm going to message you this knockout specifically. Type in Ngannou, knocks out Overeem.
Let me type it in before I forget.
Okay, do you know what?
We're going to get this guy's name.
Right, so Ngannou, Ngannouou.
Versus who?
Overeem. So like the word over and then reem with two E's.
Versus over
Reem.
Yeah,
the knockout should just.
I've got it. I won't play it because it'll copyright it. Yeah, but
is there a way that the volume will the volume come up on it?
Oh, maybe I could. Yeah, 1 second. Although
if you turn it off, I want to see. Nah. There should be the clip of just the knockout.
Yeah, I found it. Let me just mute this 1 second. Yeah.
Go ahead. We're gonna see this reaction now, people. This was fire. Insane. These was two samurais. They came together. They fought. And they saw, and they knock out. Oh, motherfuckers all in the house! Sent his head into motherfucking orbit. Free.
Bruv.
All the hips.
You know what the best bit is when he put him on the deck with it, yeah? He went bang in his chest as well.
Fuck off. Like, lad, does not give a fuck.
To a piece of wood or something.
Mate.
That punch,
honestly, there's way more where that came from. So he went on just a quick background. I know we're going on a UFC chat here, but quick back. He went on a four fight winning streak where he knocked out all the opponents in the first round. Then had the title fight against Stipe Miocic 3 years ago. This is the second fight. Stipe won that fight convincingly, but it was because he had the wrestling and jiu-jitsu over Ngannou. Ngannou was just this freak who knocked people out. But when he lost that energy and he lost that gas, it was game over. Since then, Francis Ngannou has fought 4 opponents. Bear in mind, 2 of them are 2 of the greatest heavyweights of all time in Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez. Knocked them out inside a minute. His last 4 fights, 4 first round finishes, a combined fight time of 3 minutes and like 30 seconds. Bro, that's since he lost to Stipe last time. So now he went into that first title fight with a 4-fight win streak. He's now going into this one on a 4-fight win streak. Like, bro, just type in Ngannou knockout. You'll be sitting there for about 10 minutes just watching amazingness. Just heads detaching from soldiers.
Do you know what's funny? Big up my boy Chig, yeah? My boy Chig runs another YouTube channel called The Combat Show, yeah? Where they talk about UFC. Get on there, man.
I'll have to, man. I'll have to. I haven't gone onto a UFC show or anything like that, so I'll have to, man.
I'm gonna send you a one in a bit, yeah. I'm gonna go and do some dinner in that. I'll send you a video, I'll find it, yeah. Chig might actually know the guy's name. He's a Nigerian boy, yeah. I can't remember his name, but he's a boxer, yeah. But I don't know if he's still fighting. But he knocked Enzo Macronelli clean out with one of the sweetest punches you were ever going to see in your life, bro. But it was savage, but he done it so good. It was quite a few years back, because Enzo Macronelli ain't really done fuck all for years. I think he's retired. Yeah. But the Nigerian boy, I remember watching it on Sky. It must have been 10 years ago. Yeah, and the Scottish commentator goes, "His boxing has become loose." And as soon as he said that, I remember it, because Sky Plussed it. Yeah. So I could watch it back. As soon as it got to that point, I knew the punch was coming, bro. He just went, bro. It was like that. He nearly took the geezer's head off.
It's scary,
it was
man.
Mad. Was it?
Some of these can
yes,
do.
I think it might have been this guy. I think it was this guy. The surname rings a bell. Yeah, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, right, bro. Watch it. It was disgusting. Yeah, but. Man, it's mad. It's actually mad. But listen, we'll wrap this up, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro. Listen, we can sit and talk for hours, bro. It's just light work, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Listen, that was sound. That flew by as well. That flew by. So
this is the only stream I am doing today. So I will be back again tomorrow. Are you doing anything else today, or are you done?
There might be a Redmond round up later, but there might not be. So we will see. We will see. Do you know what I mean? But people keep an eye out, and because if there won't be a video today, there'll be one tomorrow morning.
There you go.
Nice one for having me on, though, lads.
No, come on, man. You're always welcome. And big up to everybody in the chat. Slap the likes up. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to Hammers' channel. Link in the title. And I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon. Until then, I'm out of it. Laters.